Hey, for Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, this is the Pro and Con Show, and I'm your host, Michael James Dott. As always, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for taking a few moments to try. I'm hoping by virtue of you watching, it says that you are thinking about, okay, how do I be a better citizen? How do I accept that the viewpoints that I have aren't perfect? And that I need to combine those viewpoints with the viewpoints of others so that we can come to a place where we can recognize the complexities of the issues that face us and then deal with them in totality in some kind of reasoned way. Pro and con, good and bad, for and against, hence the Pro and Con Show. Today's show is called Masks, and we're in the middle of this pandemic still, and it's going to go on for quite some time because the likelihood that we're going to come up with a vaccine or some kind of series of really stout treatments that will prevent serious health issues from this for a group of the population, well, it's going to be a long time. And the leadership of this nation just can't seem to get it through their heads that rather than throw $3 trillion at the stock market, they should be throwing $100 billion at greatly expanding tracking and testing capabilities so that we can identify who has active virus and quarantine them for a period of 2 to 3 weeks so that we can prevent the transmission. We can step by step aggressively fix this, and most of us can go about our daily lives except for being tested on a pretty regular basis, especially and you can be smart about this. You can be strategic about it. Why is the show called Masks? Well, because I get it. I wear a mask almost, well, when I'm outside, unless I'm alone in the car, I don't wear a mask alone in the car. And if I'm out, walking and there's no one around, I don't wear a mask. But if I'm going to be around anyone, especially in public, especially outside my own home, I'm wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask, and I am thinking, okay, this is uncomfortable and inconvenient, but if I happen to have the coronavirus and I walk past somebody, I could give it to them unknowingly. That's the problem with this thing. It is not a hoax. Okay? The coronavirus is real, and the primary, it would seem, the primary method for transmission is, basically small particles. If you speak or breathe, you get these small particles that come out and can carry the virus. And more evidence that those particles can be very small and actually be basically an aerosol. So it's even more than just, within a few feet. Because, this droplet thing, in theory, the droplets are big enough, they fall to the ground after just a few feet, hence the 6 feet kind of thing. But the evidence is growing more and more that it also, some fraction of what an infected person can output actually is basically floating in the air. And that's why being indoors, in a confined area with many people for an extended period of time is a bad idea. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to do any of those things, at least wear a mask, because the mask, and depending on how effective the mask is. So, for example, there's a really nice masks. They're called N95 or KN95 masks. and they virtually filter out just about everything. So if you're breathing some if you're infectious and you're breathing virus, hardly anything is escaping you. Now, if you have a wrap or a scarf or some other mask, well, more is escaping, but better than just me talking. No mask. So wear a mask. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. If you're going to be around other people, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Do it. 2, try to keep a good distance from each other. Now, there's no reason why you can't carry on a conversation with somebody from 6 or 8 or 10 feet away. And, again, because of this thing where the indoors part of it, kind of the buildup of this virus contamination can occur indoors more than outdoors, where it tends to disperse a lot more because of the air motion and stuff like that. If you're especially indoors, you need to be focused on masks and staying as far away from other people as possible. Excuse me. You should try to 6, 8, 10 feet away from other people as practical as you can. And it doesn't always work. And, if you're in a store and you're shopping and you might have to walk past somebody, well, yeah, okay, you got to do that. You might have to get within 3 or 4 feet of them, but that's if it's only a moment. And, it's all about a probability. What is the probability that you're going to encounter enough of this virus that you're going to take it in and become infected? And unfortunately, it's not just your problem. It's everybody's problem, because then you can be infectious and have zero symptoms. And yet you're highly infectious. It's clear. It's the scientists and doctors around the world have documented multiple cases where some of the most infectious people that they have identified were totally without symptoms. Okay? Wear a mask, keep the distance, and then one of the benefits of wearing a mask or eye cover is that it reminds you to not touch your face until you wash your hands thoroughly or sanitize your hands thoroughly. So that's one of the benefits, okay? And I get it. I don't like wearing masks, and nobody does, okay? Nobody does. But you've got to do it. You've got to wear the mask because it protects people around you. It provides a small amount of protection to you, but it provides a tremendous amount of protection to everyone else around you. And so it's this cooperative effort, all of us wearing masks, all of us keeping distances, all of us washing our hands on a fairly regular basis, that will keep this thing in a place where, until finally, if our government ever wakes up and stops spending trillions of dollars to support the stock market and spends billions of dollars to support testing and figuring out how to keep people sequestered that are positive for this virus, then life will get much better. But there it is. So until then, masks, distance, wash your hands. Please. Please, it's still true. And to point this out, in Wisconsin, western Wisconsin where I live, the rates of infection and hospitalizations are going up exponentially at the moment, because as I walk around my neighborhoods and through the stores, there are a large percentage of people that are not wearing masks and not paying attention to distance and not sanitizing their hands. And here we go. Okay, so for the Pro and Con Show, I'm Michael James Ott. Until the next show, bye for now.